Hello everyone and welcome to TIFF TV. I'm Teddy Mitchell of House of Photography and this is Getting to Know Your DSLR. Now last week we actually talked about the camera and its functions. This week we're going to talk about the digital camera. Last week we talked a little bit on film, but this week we're going to talk about the digital camera. DSLR. DSLR, what does it mean? Digital single lens reflector. Which means that lens that you're looking at me through right now is one single lens. That same single lens we use to actually reflect the image through the viewfinder, and then we also use it to capture the image on the sensor. Okay, so I'm just going to go through just a small brief understanding on what your camera is doing when the shutter release button is not touched or the camera is not on. So let's take a look. Okay, number one, we all know that number one is the lens. If you don't, then number one is the lens. Number two is the reflective mirror. Number three is your map focusing ring. Now this one, the diagram does not show. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you what a focusing ring actually is. This little piece right here is a focusing ring, and it goes into the camera this way. So we put it up in the camera like this, and this little small focusing screen, focusing screen actually works almost like a small magnifying glass, which actually brings a closeness to the lens versus all the way from here. You can see like the difference of the lens not being close to the lens ring. So it brings the lens closer so that we can actually look at the image that we're looking through the lens. And the number four is the pentaprism, which is a small box at the top of the camera that has mirrors that reflect the image that's coming through the lens off of the reflecting mirror up into the pentaprism, which reflects off of it reflects off of two mirrors and comes out through the eyepiece, which is number 5. That means that if we didn't have that pentaprism, the light that's actually squeezed through the lens will be upside down. So we would be actually you would be looking at me upside down. But because of the pentaprism, you're actually seeing me upside right. Okay? Now the number 6 is the shutter. And we talked about what the shutter actually does. The shutter is actually covering the sensor, and once the shutter opens up, it reveals the sensor for the sensor to be able to record the light that is coming through the lens. Yes, so this is what it is when the camera is actually off. So let's have a look at what it looks like when the camera is capturing the image. Again, we see number 1 as the lens. We see the reflecting mirror now at number 2, but we've noticed that at number 2, the lens is what now? Is up in this up motion, meaning that it's out of the way. It is not actually reflecting through the pentaprism so that you can see the image, but it's going straight to the sensor. So it's recording on the sensor, but you can see that the shutter actually opened up so that it can actually record onto the sensor. So this is what it looks like when we're capturing an image with the camera. When you hit the shutter release button, what happens is that image in the light that shoots through the lens, the mirror, your reflective mirror, flips up and it covers the focusing screen and stops the image from going through the pentaprism, so you can see through the viewfinder, and it opens, the shutter opens up, and then once the shutter opens up, the image is recorded onto the sensor. So this is what it looks like when you push your shutter release button and the camera is taking the image. So I hope this actually helps you. If it didn't, feel free to ask your question and we can help you on that. And don't forget to make your comments and also subscribe. This is Teddy Mitchner for TIFF TV, and I thank you for stopping by and watching the video. See you next week.